They're counting on you. Against all odds, we've made it this far. But we both know that the old ways aren't going to work this time. This journey has changed us, changed you. But it's not over yet. You need the right tools for the job.
Trollord Games. Join the fray.
Are we live? Have we landed? Have we landed again on the internet? I think that we have.
We have arrived. Good morning, everyone.
We got Chuck. Are you on screen today? Why aren't you on screen today?
I am got things to do. So.
Oh, that's right. You got to get the World Builders Archive.
A new subscriber, prepare for battle.
Yes, I got to do that. So.
Wait, the World Builders Archive?
Yes, which you would know as the Gygaxian Fantasy World Series. It's 10 books we've been working furiously on for the past 2 years.
I didn't know you were calling it the archive, the whole thing. I thought it was like a new book. I was like, whoa, a new book in the series. I was like, what the heck?
So let me get my spiel out real quick, then I'll disappear into the darkness. So a couple of things. We have Bill Sylvie, the author of The Quest for the Teeth of... how do you pronounce it again exactly, Bill?
The Quest for the Teeth of the Barkash Nour.
Barkash Nour. There you go. We'll be talking with him today. Barkash Nour. We'll be talking to him today, and we'll be talking about the campaign as well, taking any questions. And always, during these campaigns, we give out lots of stuff. So we're going to have more giveaways over here today. So for this next hour, we'll be giving away some codes at the end of the stream. Just come over here to twitch.tv/TrollerGames, and you will be in on the giveaways that I need to set up evidently now that I have it done. Fantastic. Anyway,
we're giving away special codes. We're giving away the nuclear codes this time.
Lord,
that's right. We're all in.
Whenever you say that, it worries me. I always get worried. All right,
hey, you just triggered NORAD now.
Oh my God. All right, so the giveaways are live except for Moxal. He's not allowed. So come over here to twitch.tv/TrollerGames if you want to get in on the raffles. Unfortunately, we can't do them on the other platforms, but you can certainly give us a follow, Experts at Raffle, and then just go back to watching us wherever you like. And that's my spiel. Hope you guys are having a great day this morning. Everybody's got coffee and tea going on, and I'll let Steve take it away. Thank you, Steve.
All right. For those of you who don't know, I'm Steve. This is my brother Davis in red there, and this is Bill joining us. We're going to chat about Gary Gygax's Castle Zadig and all the ancillary stuff that kind of to swirl around it, because you can't just really just talk about Castle Zadig because it's huge. It's kind of this all-encompassing monolith of adventure that goes way beyond the concept of a mega dungeon by any stretch. So I'm going to give a quick spiel for those who may not know what's going on. We are Troller Games, and we are running a backer kick campaign right now for Gary Gygax's Castle Zaggig. Castle Zaggig is, for want of a better term, Gary's laboratory within which he built and designed Dungeons and Dragons. He started running his kids through and friends through this back in the early 70s, probably late 60s, to be honest with you. And he began piecing this dungeon together as they began to develop the game. Over time, over the decade of the 70s and into the 80s, the dungeon took on a life of its own, to the point that it itself was 17 levels with 10 extra sub-levels, so a total of 27 levels. And he didn't really have an end game in sight. He was going to keep developing the more levels as he plunged deeper and deeper into it. In later years, he added the castle part to it, which was originally just kind of this ruined mad archmage's castle. It grew into this monolithic, multi-acre, triple-walled, harlot castle type thing. If you know what harlot castle is from the United Kingdom, I think it sits on the Welsh coast, overlooking what's the sea, Davis, between Ireland and England? Is it the Sea of Ireland? I think it's the Sea of Ireland. It sits between
I think
those.
it's the sea. I can't remember. Sea of Ireland.
I think
it's not even a sea. It's a channel.
It's a big channel. But
at what point does it become a sea and a channel? I don't know.
Well, I've been doing a little bit of that with my aired stuff, trying to figure out what these actual geographic terms are. I learned that a vold, W-O-L-D, and Gary would appreciate this, is an upland cleared country with lightly forested. It's a very archaic English word for a type of forested hills, I suppose.
Yeah, I think that, I'm not going to swear to any of this, but I'm fairly certain I'm accurate. So the Inuit have, like 200 different words for types of snow, the various and sundry types of snow that fall. And then, the same goes with descriptions of sand in the Sahara and in the Arabian Peninsula. There's numerous. It's not just desert or whatever. There's tons of different words to describe very particular environments. Although I've never researched it, I think it would make sense. It makes sense to me. There would be hundreds of very specific words to describe the various regions, like in England specifically.
Probably
various different types of things.
No, you've heard that urban legend, and it is an urban legend. It's very cute though, about how Torpenhow Hill in England is just hill.
Yeah,
that's not accurate, but it's just, a tor is a hill, and how is an old English word for hill, and it's a little more nuanced than that. But yeah, it's someone was mentioning on X the other day, they were talking about if you visit the United States, never say that you drove or walked or hiked or camped into a dell. You say holler. You went down into a holler.
Chuck has emphatically endorsed that.
My mama was born in a holler called Chevrolet Holler in Kentucky. True story.
Well, hey, you know what? I mean, my mom was born in a little town called Hoax Bluff in northeast Alabama, so I get it. I get it.
It's a very Gygaxian conversation, I got to tell you. He would have really enjoyed this this conversation.
No, it's sort of, see, there's a I don't know, I find it fascinating. And Gary did all that research on, or not research, he knew, learned it, whatever, accidentally. All those archaic words. I love those archaic words. They are so expressive and so meaningful, and we just have dropped we dulled our language down over the years.
That's one thing I've said, when I was a kid and I got the monster manual, said orcs are fecund. Well, I went for the dictionary. The hell does fecund mean? That sounds kind of dirty. Yeah. No, it just means they have a lot of kids. But in discussing Gary and languages, this is a rabbit hole I went down. Now, of course, arguably the best high level module that Gary did, and he might might argue the point and say that there's more fun or better stuff. I don't know. Unfortunately, in my many conversations with him, we never got around to this topic. But of course, Lost Caverns of Sojkanth. Well, Sojkanth, that sounds like it's like, what even Sojkanth? That just seems like a mismatch of words, like he stirred his alphabet soup that morning. But it's not. It is actually not. I can't remember the exact language, but there's a Mesoamerican language. Soj means red or hooked, and kanth is a Latin root for mouth. And so who is the chief foe in S4? It's Drelsna the vampire red hooked mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, it is such a rabbit hole that you can go down. And then you take a look at Loth and her handmaidens, the Yocklaw. Well, I mean, you don't have to be a genius to know about the shrine maidens of Japanese myth. Half spider, half women that can appear beautiful and terrifying, and the yokai are a form of shrine maidens, or shrine maidens are a form of yokai, I should say, and they can be amorphous or they can be beautiful women. And again, it's not too much of a stretch to get Yocklaw from yokai. So yeah, Gary was a master of handling the languages. And I mean, a lot of times he could turn his own puns too. For example, the teeth of the Barkash Nour. If you look in the Dungeon Master's Guide, they're listed there as the teeth of the Delver Nar. Okay, well, Delver Nar, that's Dave L. Arn. That's a little jab at Dave Arneson, and the origin of the teeth was Dave Arneson had a little jar with all of his baby teeth in it. And that kind of, Gary was like, well, what would that, why would you even? So he wrote Teeth of the Barkash Nour in 75 between I think it's between supplement 1 and beginning work on AD&D. And the reason I think that is because the notes that I have, which were Gary's original notes from then, the notes that I saw referenced paladins, and it's definitely pre-AD&D, but he does make a reference to paladins, and he doesn't like pump the brakes and explain what a paladin is or tell the players this about paladins. So it must be just after supplement 1 Greyhawk that he did this. So in that time frame, the animosity perhaps towards Dave Arneson hadn't quite started to fester as it did for a number of years. So when he sat down to pen the Dungeon Master's Guide, that's when he probably said, oh, so you you want to keep your teeth, Dave? All right, here you go. I'll immortalize you. So we wound up with the teeth of Dave L. Arn rather than the teeth of Barkash Nour.
That's really cool.
That's
yeah.
Funny. I was going to actually ask you if you knew, so that actually answers my question. If you knew what the relation between those two magic.
Yes, they are they are the teeth of teeth of Dave Arneson, basically.
So just to swing back to what we're talking about for those who may not know. So with this Castle Zaggid campaign, we've been running it now for about 3 weeks. At the 450,000, when we hit $450,000 in pledges, we unlocked an adventure that Gary had written an outline for and drawn a bunch of maps for, called The Teeth of Barkash Nour. This is what Bill is talking about. And Bill was part of a crew. So fast forward, this is all going on in the 70s. Fast forward to the early 2000s. TLG is publishing Gary Gygax at this point, and we're working on Castle Zagig. His real passion, he loved the dungeons, but his real passion was Yigsburg, and he was putting together a pretty large team. It was about 10, 15 people. Jeff Talanian was one of them, and he was managing it. That were writing these supplements for Yigsburg. Bill Sylvie was part of that crew. Clearly, Gary liked what Bill was producing, because it's somewhere in all of those conversations. Bill was hired to take Gary's original Barkash Nour notes and turn them, the Teeth of Barkash Nour, and turn them into the adventure that Gary wanted. And the way this connects to Castle Zagig, somewhere in the dungeons of Castle Zagig, there's a portal of bone, a bone gateway that leads you from Zagig and into. Take it away, Bill.
No, that was like, yes, the kind of a metal thing, but yes, the portal. So it's like I said, Gary loved his wordplay and his puns. Gary was a jazz fan, so he does it in the original notes. He describes it as a portal of horn. Well, horn can be hornblende stone. It can be bone, like you say, or horn. It's a play on a trumpet or cornet or something like that. But so uttermost depths of Castle Greyhawk. And if I slip up, Steve, if I slip up and I say Castle Greyhawk, you know what I mean, fans. You guys know what I mean. I've only been steeping in this module for 22 years, so you got to give me a break. Yes. So at the bottom of the castle, literally on the bottom level, there's a door you can find, and there's a Gary was kind of unclear on how you got through the puzzle. I think perhaps in his final iteration, he would have had it like a set of musical notes or a password you'd find somewhere in that vast complex and just be like, oh, what is this for? Oh, I won't need that again. And then you're like, holy crap, how do we get through this? But you pass through, and it is a pocket dimension. It's very African savanna-esque. There's a great vast plain of and I know how much spoilerizing do we want to go
A
on
little
here?
bit. Don't give too much away.
Okay, all right. So the there's a fair few Gygaxian riddles and traps, if you will, and what you're looking for are these teeth. They're now initially, this is not a spoiler. This is the way it was versus the way it is. Initially, the teeth were in one place at the end of the module. And in talking to Gary, I said, given that you have 24 hours or you are forever expelled from the pocket dimension, do you want to give at least a little bit of reward and have a couple of teeth here, a tooth here? And so he agreed with that. So as you go out, there's a chance you may find one, but you do have to play it through to get the complete set of teeth. And then, of course, the party gets to fight over who's going to take a wedge out and pop out all their teeth and put these in. But I leave that to the individual table to discern. But it is a very environmental module, but there are some cave and dungeon exploration environments as well. Now, interesting point, when I had initially written the module, I asked Gary if we could do just a pure dungeon crawl. Just could we have part of the module that was just pure 10 by 10 room monster guarding a treasure? And he said absolutely. So I wrote a section called The Lost Crypt. And it was entirely my invention. Gary okayed it. He read it over and said, yeah, that sounds great. I love the Egyptian theme. Let's go with that. And so I plunked that down on the map. Given that I wrote it and it was not written by Gary, but just kind of a module that was plugged onto it. When gosh, I guess it was 2018, 2019, I extricated that, removed any possible thing that said, well, this leads over to something that Gary wrote, wrote a little essay about it, and then published that through another company, which I will be respectful and not.
We love Frog God Games.
Okay, all right, well, fine. Frog God Games has published The Lost Crypt. So
a new subscriber. Prepare for battle.
The discerning shopper will get Teeth of the Barkash Nour and pick up a copy of The Lost Crypt, because I did write an essay in there on where it can be dropped if you wish to recombine the two. So, but to the actual module itself, it is a deadly, it is a nightmare wonderland of a module, and I was so thrilled to be able to sit down and go over it. There was one place, and I'm not going to tell where it is until after this thing's published in people's hands, but there was one place in the module where I said, oh, well, Gary, I'm looking at this and I think we should do that. And he said, absolutely not. Leave it exactly as I wrote it. Don't change it. I was like, okay, all right.
That sounds very Gary.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time he was pretty easy, like with sprinkling the teeth around the map. He was like, yeah, no, that's actually a good idea. And then I said, oh, well, let's put this pyramid, the Egyptian tomb kind of. He's like, oh, yeah, good idea. Well, how about this? And we'll adjust that. No. Okay, boss. So, but no, working with him on it was just, it was so much fun. And I have to, I can't show them without major spoilers and potential legal repercussions, but
again, none of that, please.
None of that. No, no. But the notes that Gary sent me, I literally, when I got the zip file and opened them back 2 decades ago, just to kind of put that in perspective. I was like, okay, where's the rest? Because it was so sparse. But every time I asked Gary about a detail, I got like the full bug. Or when I would send him back stuff, he'd say, yes, that's how I want it. And what you realize is that like 90% of Castle Greyhawk and Castle Greyhawk Adventures were up here for Gary.
Yeah.
He knew, looking at 4 pages of notes and 4 pages of maps, how this massive adventure was to be played. So the challenge was working back from that and working with him and saying, okay, 8 pages of notes. And one of those pages is very generous because, honest to God, it looks like it was written on the back of a receipt and then scanned. It is not a full 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So
I know what I've got that one open in front of me. I know which one you're talking about.
You know the section I'm talking about. Yes. So that taking that and building a big, because it really is, it's a world unto itself. I mean, what's over the horizon in that direction is left to the DM.
Yeah.
But it's still, it's a whole lot compressed down. And when you, for lack of a better term, unzip it at your table, you may find the party asking, hey, how do we wedge that door open so we don't have a time limit? We want to stay in here and adventure in here. I think it's that good. I think it's that neat of a module. I have a question on my YouTube that I think is you guys would better better know the answer to. Somebody asked, Bob Jester said, how will these 5 box sets integrate with the OG TLG Castle Zagig Upper Works box set?
They'll gel almost perfectly with it. So back in 2023, I guess, was the coast tried to change the terms of the OGL. We've removed the OGL from all of our books, and that's where we reforged our books. That's what we call them, and we're reforging Castle Zagig. We're reforging Yigsburg and Upper Works. We've already done that. But the reforging is the game doesn't change. It's just some names like Magi's Missile. Magic Missile is now Magi's Missile. It's just stuff like that. So if you've got the Upper Works that we put out, the box set we put out in 2008, you're spot on. There's not going to be enough changes in there to make any difference whatsoever.
No, I think it's all words. There's no rules changes, no stat changes. There's nothing like that. It's all just words.
Probably the only thing we changed that I think that we didn't need to in retrospect was the word alignment. I think we should have just left alignment alone. We changed it to disposition. We're trying to get away from the look of Dungeons and Dragons material, but it's literally just 97 words. It wasn't much. It wasn't a lot.
I might have changed some of the weapons damages, I think.
You did that in the armory book, not in the player's handbook.
Oh, okay.
You started tweaking with it as you are wont to do. I will say, for everyone out there, if you're not familiar with the way we're going to present this, Castle Zagig there's basically 3 parts. There's Yigsburg, the city, and then there's the castle and the environs around the castle, and then there's the dungeons themselves. The dungeons is the lion's share of it, and we're doing 5 hardcover books, all myself. Each of these books will go in their own box, and the reason that we're doing that is all of the books will have 3 to 10 maps that go with them, 11 by 17. So we didn't want to put the maps in the backs of the books or kind of, wedged into them, or where you can perforate and pull them out because it just damages your binding. So the maps have to be loose, and to be loose, we have to do something with them. So into a box they go. So Davis is chuckling at our
logistics, man. You gotta love it. So that I've got a question for you. I wrote about maybe 100,000 words for Gary, in addition to Teeth of the Barkash Nour, Citadel's End, the Outs, Rivergate, Newtown. Are those things to be published?
So that we have license to publish those. So that's the good. But we're working closely with both the estate and the Gygaxes to see what all needs to come out. Those are definitely on the table. There are 24 of those books written, and I didn't think they were all written, but Peter Bradley told me that they were, so they're actually done. It just needs to be edited, cleaned, and whatever. We got to get a hold of all the authors like you.
Yeah.
Some of them we still communicate with. Some of just kind of, it's been 20 whatever years it's been a hot
quarter of a century.
You put it like that. It's a long time. It's been a while.
Our projects can vote, drink, get married, buy property, be drafted. Our projects have kids in daycare right now. Our projects are sweating, getting an extra shift to cover the bills this month. Like I said, I did the Citadel's End, Rivergate, Newtown. I did a farm district that I don't even remember the name. I think that was the Outs. And there were a couple of other things.
There's like 4 districts on the outside of town, I think, or is it 2 or something? So that's probably what that is.
Yeah, it's 2. It's a good 2 or 3. And I just not to drag our viewers into business chatter, but when you guys are ready, I'll have to dig them up. I'll have to find a computer with an optical drive so I can get the archives.
I think Peter Bradley has them all.
Well, I mean, you know, if it comes to it, I know that I do too. So it'll just be a matter of me.
I personally would like to see those come out, simply because it was really a huge passion of Gary's to detail Gettysburg that much, and the work was done. I think we had printed 3, and we had another 5 in the works when the licenses were pulled. I think
we printed one group of them, I think.
Yeah,
and that was it.
So I have to tell a story about first starting writing for Gary, because this is so funny, and it works as a good cautionary tale. The first thing that I did for Gary was not Teeth. Teeth came much later, when he basically said, "Hey, do you want to do this?" And I was like, "Oh my God, yes, please." But when I got my my list of districts to do, and we were 30 strong with that initial group, there was a good a platoon of people ready to write those up at the outset. I kind of took the idea. He said, you know, okay, I read the thing, but I didn't read the like the notes, the extensive notes on it. And I went bonkers. I went absolutely mad funhouse. And it's basically, it's the police station in Yigsburg, right? It is Citadel's End. It is an army post police station. And there's fun stuff in it. Don't get me wrong. I mean, like, Gary let me put an aboleth in the well in the thing.
Cool.
Like there's literally the cistern, so that the citadel could withstand if the city was laid siege. They had their own water. There's an aboleth down there. There's a group of right literally within one of the walls of the citadel, there's a Masonic order of gnomes that meets monthly without the town guard knowing. They have their lodge inside the citadel because it was there before the citadel was built, and damn it, they're not leaving. So there's fun stuff in there like that, but I went completely bonkers funhouse dungeon. This thing had more akin with Singe's Castle from the Dragon's Lair video game than it did any practical building you would find in a town. And oh God, Gary's gonna love this. This is gonna be awesome, because I didn't read the notes. I just knew that it was so now
and
this is the
subscribers prepare for battle.
I didn't tell Gary what I was doing. I didn't show anybody what I was doing. This was my magnum opus, and I was working on it. But I was paying attention to the mailing list that we were all on. You guys, you know, the emails that Gary was sending out and that sort of thing. One morning, as I trundle out to my office, cup of tea in hand, I pop open, and there's an email from Gary. It is not addressed to me. It is addressed to all of us. And Gary, and again, please remember, I haven't told anyone what I'm doing. I figured I'm a grown up. I'm a 34-year-old man. I do my own thing. There's an email from Gary, and he says, you know, I've gotten word that some of you guys are not paying attention to the outlines that I sent for the district. So please make sure you're adhering very closely to my outlines and how you're doing. And I was like,
oh,
perhaps I should read that. And I read it, and just my stomach dropped. It was like two, and I was just like, wow. So I had completely gone off the reservation. I was operating without any method at all. And I read that email, and I went and I looked at Gary's notes, and I was like, oh shit. So, and my biggest regret was not, because I basically rewrote the thing as he wanted it, to the point where I should have been progress wise in the course of like a week. And then I just kind of continued on following his notes. My biggest regret in that is not that I went completely bonkers and made White Plume Mountain in downtown Eagsburg.
Yes.
My regret is that I didn't keep it, because I wrote some fun stuff. I
keep it?
No, I trashed that draft. I was so embarrassed. Like,
God.
I was so embarrassed. I literally opened Word and hit was it Control A for everything and hit the delete key and just started typing again. So it was like a good 8 or 10 single spaced pages of just completely nuts, bonkers, gonzo stuff that Gary probably would have pilloried me for if I'd turned it into him.
That's wild. You went scorched earth on your own stuff. Normally, if I delete a file, I just delete it and it sits in the delete folder, whatever, for a year or two.
You
deleted the text.
It was really a matter of I was just so embarrassed that I had that I had like reverted to 12-year-old self writing just some bonkers
hey Heidi
dungeon that
and Gary was very particular when I should say there was a lot of latitude on a lot of things, but when we crossed whatever line it was, he would let us know very, very quickly. This is not
a new subscriber. Prepare for battle.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's his IP.
Yeah. So I mean that was. Yeah. So that was that was really kind of the moment where I said, "Oh, okay, I should probably pay a lot closer attention to what I'm doing."
These lines. Hey, Bill, don't feel bad. People are always sending me stuff and say, "Hey, Steve, you need to read this." I don't ever read it. I just wrote on.
Yeah. I have to say, when I was 12, I mailed a dungeon to TSR. I wrote a module and I mailed it to TSR with a nice typed letter, but everything else was handwritten. And Mike Carr was in charge of taking those things in and sending out the rejection letter. I never even got a rejection letter, and that makes me sad because but Paul Stormberg told me, he said, "Well, Bill, the purpose of anything D&D related is to entertain, and I can almost guarantee you Mike Carr read it, and if he laughed at it, it entertained him. So take heart." So yeah, it's almost certainly a thin layer of bacteria and slime in a landfill somewhere in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. But but
can
no,
you imagine how much stuff is in a landfill and freaking.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, and can you imagine how much original artwork?
Oh yeah.
Well, who was it that pulled someone's out of a dumpster about 10 years ago?
Frank pulled some out of a dumpster.
Well, there's one of the artists died about 10 years ago, and his siblings threw it all away.
Dave Sutherland. Paul has a couple of paintings that they were going to have thrown away that Dave did. Paul has the oil painting for the cover of the Dungeon Master's Guide, for example.
Nice.
But yeah, they were going to toss it all. Which, I mean, on the one hand, yeah, it's storage space. It's like, okay, here's a little Celtic knotwork design that went between 2 paragraph sections in a second edition AD&D book. Who cares?
Right.
I mean, who cares? But on the other hand, when you start talking about like, I know Dave LaForce has Jim Rosloff's drawing that is in Deities and Demigods of Thor smashing the World Serpent with Mjolnir, and that's actually like a 3x5 card size drawing. It's full page in the book, but yeah, that's one that was just otherwise going to get.
If the original's a 3x5 card drawing.
Yeah, it's like this big. It's tiny.
Holy crap! I didn't realize that.
Yeah, Dave LaForce Diesel has a lot of pieces like that. And yeah, he said you'd be amazed. A lot of the drawings you think like, okay, they did a big drawing and then they shrank it down for the page.
Yeah.
Most of the drawings are that size, are that
Really?
actual size.
I didn't know
But
that. No.
but yeah, in the case of I'd grab it, but it'd probably cause an avalanche of books. In the case of the Thor drawing, it is a tiny little piece.
I didn't know that at all. That's
So oh, and you know, I gotta mention this because I thought this was the coolest thing in the world. When I did Lost Crypt, I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole, but I'm friends with Tracy Lesh, and Tracy, of course, was one of the original D&D artists. Back, he was a teenager in Lake Geneva when Elsie Gygax saw him drawing in history class and said, "Hey, can I show some of your drawings to my dad?" He didn't know who Gary Gygax was and D&D was, and he was like, and here's this hot strawberry blonde girl who wants to see it. And he's like, "Oh, absolutely." So he took or he gave her his notebook, and Gary called him up and was like, "Hey, I'd like you to do some work for me." Gives him a wood grain OD&D set and says, "Read this, see if you kind of get it, and then I'll have some artwork for you." But Tracy lived down here in Florida for a while, and he and I got to be friends and hung out a lot. And but he actually contributed to the Lost Crypt. There's a Tracy Lesh work in the Lost Crypt for the little side quest to.
Well, maybe we need to get with Tracy and get some of his artwork in the teeth of Barkash Nour.
Oh my God, I would be so honored, and I know Tracy would love it. I mean, he did the Mind Flayer. Tracy invented the visual look of the Mind Flayer. That is Tracy's. It is, you know, he was he told me one day he's walking in Publix, and he has art of the he does art prints of his original D&D stuff, and there's the Mind Flayer on a t-shirt he and his wife are walking in, and a guy coming out said, "One of those things killed my favorite character in D&D," and Tracy's wife said he invented it. And so they had this moment right there with this guy who'd played D&D when he was a kid, meeting the dude that created the Mind Flayer. But I mean, I know Tracy would be for it. Just, I mean, I can say it. I will happily put you guys in touch with Tracy. He's still creating art. He's Tracy Lesh Designs on Zazzle. He's in my Monday night online AD&D game. They moved up to Southern Georgia, so I will. Do you want me to put him in touch with you?
Yeah,
do you want me to?
Sure,
okay,
let's do it.
Yeah, do it.
Sure.
100%.
That's so awesome. So a Gygax module from the time when Tracy was working at TSR with Tracy's art in it in 2026. What a great time to be alive. That is phenomenal.
Troza!
That deserves a Troza.
Absolutely.
That will be awesome if he could do that.
I mean, you don't get much more classic. That's like that's like Plant. That's like Plant and Page performing together again. Okay, I mean, granted that makes me Jason Bonham trying to keep up with him, but still, that's, man, to have Tracy's art in something I wrote with Gary again. Thank you guys so much. That's great. That's a value add right there.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
So,
well, just as we wind this up, everyone out there, we are running a backer kit campaign for Gary Gygax's massive Castle Dungeons right now. Go spread the word, pledge, do what you can do. And Bill is part of that project. He just let everyone know he worked with Gary when Gary was alive. So
yes.
The Barkash Nour that he's already written, I'm sure you want to look at. I got the draft here, but I'm sure you're going to want to go over it and have a look at it again and resubmit or whatever. But this was written with Gary's approval while Gary was alive. So this is some really classic stuff coming out.
Yeah.
Now that we've got Tracy, well, assuming that we can get Tracy on board, we can get some classic art going too. And that Mind Flayer, I got to tell you, it's one of my favorite pieces of art from the Monster Manual back in the day.
Well, Tracy's is the one that's in supplement 2, Blackmore.
Oh,
with Tracy, with Tracy, but it's still it's the design language, that's what the kids call it today. The design language of the Mind Flayer is informed by what Tracy did. And so little minor spoiler here, Tracy knows about this. It's nascent. We're working on a miniature of that original OD&D Mind Flayer.
Oh, cool.
So whether it will be metal, resin, or we'll just offer an STL, jury's still out, but we are working on it.
Excellent. All right. Well, that's it, everybody. Chuck, you going to walk us out here? I think there's some giveaways, probably.
We do have some giveaways. I just want to take a minute to say thanks to everybody for hanging out with us this morning and watching. If you haven't gotten in a giveaway, come over here to twitch.tv/TrollLordGames. Give us a follow, and the next Exclamation Point raffle in the chat will get you in. We can't do another platforms just over on Twitch because we use the bot here. Anyways, I'll get over here and get these shut off. I'm going to move very slowly in case you missed out. And then we'll draw some draws. We'll do a few $10 PDF codes, and then we'll do some straight up cash codes for the store as well. We'll give some stuff away this morning, and then we'll let you guys get
hold
back
up.
to work.
You're giving away cash?
No. Codes.
Hey, big man, let me hold $1.
Yeah, no, Bill. Oh my Lord! Look there, Celtic Clerk said he just bought the Lost Crypt. Nice.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm sure the guys over at Frog God will greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, sure. All right, well, I'm going to get this thing closed out, and this is how this is going to work. A link will pop up in the Discord, in the chat. If you're new to us, we give our codes away on our Discord. It's a great Discord, 3,000 people, no drama, just gaming. It's fantastic. You should check it out. And there's free virtual Dr. Pepper if you're into that. So you'll just hop, if you're not a member, just hop over there, and one of us will get you the code. Obsidian Risk is going to be watching. I think he's in the chat now, maybe, but he'll be handing out codes. He'll DM you, or you can DM him, whichever. If he doesn't know your alias name, obviously, over in Discord. All right, so here we go for some $10 PDF codes. Not for Moxhow. Here we go. Let's see what we have here for the first 3 we're going to pick. Rawgroth, congrats. Irregular, he's got a $10 PDF code. Congrats, buddy. Showers chatting $1 bills like a strip club. All right, Captain Red Wolf, calm down. Next up is going to be Imp 7N6. Congrats, Imp. Congrats. $10 PDF code for you. And lastly on the $10 PDF codes is Mad Hermit. Good morning, Mad Hermit. You're a new one in chat. There's the link right there. I'll drop it one more time just in case. And you can just join the Discord and we'll get you your code. You can ask Scott or Scott may we'll get you. All right, these next couple codes are going to be for $15 each on the store. The first one's going to be for Kefren. Congrats, Kefren. Way to go. Congrats on that. Let's see. And for our second $15 winner, it's going to be Good King and Ib. There you go. It's in the chat there. Just click on the Discord link if you're not a member already, and we'll get you straightened out. And for our final giveaway for this morning, since I'm not going to be here the rest of the week, I'm going to give away a $25 code, and then I'm going to run for the hills. All right. Calm down, CEO. Calm down. All right. Here we go. $25 pool for Eric Garland, of all people. Holy shit.
Oh, there you go, Eric. Welcome to the dens.
He doesn't need it. He doesn't need it.
Yeah, he doesn't need it. I don't know why he needs it. He don't need nothing. That's right. He's already got Heidi. He's got it made.
He has a gold swimming pool. What are you talking about?
Gold swimming.
Love you, Eric.
Oh, my goodness gracious. That is hilarious. All right, so let me get us set up here, and we're going to get out of here and let you guys go back to work. I hope you're not having to work. Well, you probably are. We all are. So that's kind of how it works, you know. I'm going to raid us into Mike Moans. He's doing some mini paint. He's a really good friend of ours in the chat. Talks great stuff. You guys will enjoy him. He is absolutely phenomenal for painting. All right. And Eric, you can just reach out to me if you need to, or if you're in the Discord, Scott will get you. Whichever, buddy. I'm trying to raid Troller Games. That's not going to work. Where is our... there it is. You can click on the right link there for a second. All right. Let me get us out here, guys. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out. Any last words, Steve, Bill, Davis?
Bill, thanks for joining us today, or us joining you, because I think we're over on your YouTube channel too. And thank you for coming back on board and helping us get this dagging stuff moving.
You are quite welcome. Thank you for reaching out to me.
No worries. We're very excited. All right, we'll be back. I think our next stream will probably be, I'm thinking it's going to be what, Friday? We'll do the closeout stream, the big one?
Friday. There's a wind down. I just talked to Martin. There's a big wind down on Friday. So we'll probably get on about 12:30 Friday afternoon.
Okay.
I don't know. I'll leave that to Grace.
You're right. I got you. All right, guys.
Tell us.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So we're going to rate out, and we'll see you guys in a little bit. Please give Mike a follow if you can, and we'll talk to you later.